Hi, welcome back. We're almost done sprucing up this little example thing so it looks a little bit more like Project 6. What I want to show you today is how to take that find function and have it be used by other functions in the class. So if you take a quick look at the code, we see our class drawer, and you can see now that I've got a public interface here that includes a whole bunch of functions. And this is great. These are the things that the client can use. Among them, I have a function called find, which we did last time. If you give it a target value, it'll find it and tell you the location. And I've got a function called remove. Now this one we haven't had to talk about much yet, but it's critical for the operation of this ADT. Being able to take something out of the drawer, just like being able to take something out of a bag, is a fundamental operation. And so how would you carry it out? Well, in this case, you can see the remove function has a target value sent in. So in that way, it's kind of like the find function. We send in a target, and the idea is it will take it out of the data structure. The data structure it'll be removed from is this array of items. So we had up to 100 strings, and if we want to get rid of one of the items that's there, we should be able to pull it. So the remove function will allow us to do that. And then going down here in the code, you can see how the main program is going to handle this. Earlier, after we read in the data, all we did was have the drawer show itself, show all the items that were in there, and it printed out the list. We had a find function earlier that asked for a target, but this time we're going to modify that just a bit, and we're going to ask for a target value not to find it, but to remove it. And so you can see the next thing that happens is we remove that target from the drawer, and then we'll print out the list once more. And this list that gets printed should contain all the items that were in there before without the one we removed. Okay, so that's the idea. The main program is going to ask the junk drawer to remove something. Now, how do we remove something from the list? We'll take a look at the code as we go down further here. In this case, we've said, all right, this is the code. To remove something, we'll have to first of all get the item we're supposed to remove. I've sent it in as a variable called target because part of the removal process is that we'll have to find it. So we'll call our find function to hunt down the list and tell us where the thing is, and then we'll take it out. And that's what happens here in the function. You can see the call to the find function right here, and that tells us where this target is. And we already know from last time that if we get a positive value from this, or 0, it means that we have found which of those elements that target value is in. And if we get a negative value, that means it couldn't find it. Well, if we get a positive value, or 0, then how do we take it out? And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Imagine a big list, and you go down a ways and you find, aha, there's the item to remove. One of the ways we could remove it is we could take the item below it in the array and copy it up. But then we have to take the one below that and copy that up, and one below that and copy that. We have to take everything below and copy everything up one cell. And that's pretty laborious. Rather than that approach, we're going to take one that's much faster. If we find a location of where the target value is, then what we're going to say is, go to the bottom of the array, the last item that was in there. If there are n items in the array, or n elements, then it's element n minus 1 that contains the last value. Take that value and copy it right up into where we wanted to delete the item. That will delete it. Okay, we're copying something else into the into the element, and so the old stuff is gone, the new stuff is there. So we took the bottom one and we copied it up. And now how do we get rid of the one on the bottom? That's pretty simple. We just subtract 1 from n. For all intents and purposes, even though it's in the structure, we're never going to get down there anymore. N, let's say there were 50 items in the array, n is now 49. And so whatever was in the last element is no longer there. So here's the code for that. I found where the target was, and so what I'm going to do in that case is I will take item n-1, that's the last element that contains data, and I'm going to copy that up and put that into the element where the item to be removed is supposed to go. Done. Then I'll just subtract 1 from n. That reflects the fact that we have 1 less item than before, and we should be finished. If we go up to the code then, after we have removed the item, then we should be able to print it out and everything should be good. It's worth pointing out that the find function and the remove function are public data members of the class. So when I look at the remove function down here, what do I find out? It can call the find function just no problem, because it's another member of the class. The remove function knows all about the find function, just like it knows all about the array of items and n, all those things. The only argument we have here is what's the target? All the other stuff, the entire battery of data members for the class, those are already known. The other functions in the class are already known. We just call them and use them. Okay, let's give it a shot. So here we are, Control X. I'm going to get out. Sure. Let's clear this. Okay, now I'm out, and I'm going to compile it. And I'm going to run it. Okay, here we go again, putting things in the drawer. Scissors, my wallet, my car keys, flashlight, Apple, quit. There are the items. We printed them all out. And now which one do we want to remove? Let's remove my wallet. It says I found the wallet at location 1. That's true. It was the second item down. And it removed it and printed out the list. And now you can see the list when it's printed only has 4 items, not 5. And you can also see that Apple, the thing that was the last item in the list before, was copied up into the place where my wallet was. And that's how we got rid of my wallet. What happens if we try to remove something that's not in the list? Let's try that. So I'm going to run this again. Here we go again. Here we go. There's my list. It's got 5 things. What do I want to remove? Oh, I don't know. I want to remove pencil. It prints the list, and you can see the list is the same as it was. Nothing got removed because there was no pencil in it. So there we go. You've got the code now for some pretty important functions, and the function to find everything, find something, and the function to remove something. Now, by the way, what if you wanted to remove everything in the list, to empty out the drawer? The easy way to do that, you don't have to mess around with the data at all. Just set n to 0. If you set n to 0, for all intents and purposes, even though they might have all kinds of strings in that array. Since n is 0, you're not going to go into any of them. You're not going to use any of them for any purpose. There's nothing in there as far as the program is concerned. So you should check that out. And there we go. I think we've got a lot of functions beginning to take shape, and this should help quite a bit with Project 6. So we'll see you next time. Thanks.